tonight's guest. This is okay. I've told you guys before. There are certain people I bring on the show for you. There's certain people I bring on the show for your entertainment. This just in, breaking news. Waffly Joker has subscribed for 2 months in a row. Thank you so much, Waffly Joker. Oh, and thank you for the bits. 31 bits, Agent Raptor. Thank you so much. Okay, so some people I bring on for you guys' entertainment. Jeff Brown, our guest this evening, the guy you see up there in the corner, he's here because I like him. Like when Cam came on the show and I was like, that's for that. Peter Bedgood's for you guys. Cam's here for me, right? I had the privilege of working with his... Thank you for the bits. 5 more bits? 4 more bits. Thank you so much, Raptor. I had the privilege of working with Jeff Brown for over a year on a news panel show. For those of you in the UK, you might know the show is Mock the Week. What we called it here was The News Junkie. Me and Jeff were both panelists on it. I got to host it, I think, once or twice. But for the most part, me and Jeff were panelists on a satirical news comedy show that had improv games built into it in front of a live audience. It was some of my fondest memories at the Comedy Parlor. Rest in peace. We missed the Comedy Parlor a lot. But he's one of my favorites. He's also... Jeff, are you part of the Crayons, right?
Yeah.
Also a member of the Crayons improv group. He is an improv comedian. He is quick on his feet. He is clever with his mouth. He does have a sharp wit. And I can't get enough of him. Tonight's guest is none other than Jeff Brown, and that interview begins in 3, 2, 1. Now the mic's hot. You're still not up here. Come on. Good Lord. Just had to wait for a hot mic, right?
That's right.
Behind the ears.
You nip at me? I understand.
Okay. Good Lord.
I've been hurt before. Get it.
Welcome to Public Access Live, your window.
What? What?
Into... I know.
What is...
I know. You hear cars and motorcycles outside, but how could that be? There's a river out that window.
It's so dark. It's so dark for 6:15 in the PM. Oh my God!
It is perpetually. Every episode is perpetually. Oh yeah, reach into real slow.
It's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Give Ollie a slower target to bite.
If you enjoy improv, then obviously or unscripted work, the Christopher Guest movies. Are you a fan?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Every Best in Show.
Yeah.
That's related to you, Ollie.
So David Cross's brief cameo in Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
Within this, it is always, what did he say? Something degrees and so much humidity.
Every
Like a 40% chance of rain.
And a 40%, yeah. Okay, so every time you look out the window on Public Access Live, it is perpetually 8 p.m. in the evening and
So gorgeous.
always, I would say, 60% humidity. Yeah, 60%.
Is that good? Is 60% good?
I mean, that looks like 60% humidity. It's kind of
Yeah,
clear.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, yeah.
My guest this evening, Jeff Brown.
Hi,
Jeff Brown.
Dubsky. Nice to. I look directly at the camera, right?
Don't.
The entire time.
Absolutely.
How many of my nipples
How many
am I allowed to show before you get kicked off?
0.
0. Because mine are so pendulous and heavy, but they count as female breasts.
Do you have areola foreskin?
I can't say that I do. Explain the concept of areola foreskin to me. Areola foreskin is my favorite trance band. They're so good, you guys.
Where you have skin around the nipple until it gets taut,
and then that all pulls back. It's kind of an uncircumcised nipple, sort of an areola foreskin.
I can't say that I do. I think my nipples. Everyone here has already seen my nipples. Everyone in the UK knows the shape and consistency of my nipples. What time is it in the UK? Did you say?
It's a little after midnight.
Well,
it's actually 12:23 a.m.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you're not asleep, I guess.
We have the people that have eaten dinner but haven't figured out what they're going to do with their evening yet.
Okay.
They watch. And then we have people that can't sleep in the UK. And then we have people that are on their lunch break in New Zealand.
Oh, well,
and should be doing something more productive, but instead are watching this.
Jip, jury, you Kiwis. That's a famous New Zealand saying, isn't it? Jip, jury. Oh, baga me uncle. I don't know anything about New Zealand. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. What if you just lose subscribers as I insult each nationality?
They can't unsub. They can just not renew.
Oh, okay. All right. So if somebody subs for 2 months, they're stuck with us.
Well, no. They sub. They resubscribe every month.
Okay.
So if they're already on, they still are subscribed. They can't drop the show day.
Okay. All right. Good.
You can't piss anybody off.
I can't fuck this up.
Well, you could.
Okay. Good. I will fuck this up.
You could actually cut into my wallet. Thank you so much.
Happy to help. This is my first time on Twitch. I don't know, when do we start playing PublicAccessLIVE? When do we start playing Minecraft? That sounds so German now that I think of it. Minecraft! Minecraft! And when do we start controlling a community version of Pokemon?
Oh, that would be
fun. Or Pokemans, as my dad says.
I think if they would make a Pokemon Battle Royale, that'd be pretty cool.
You're excited about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 Pokemon characters all on one island. With no weapons. Stripped down naked.
Wait, are the Pokemon characters the trainers or the actual Pokemon?
And when I say naked, I don't mean they don't have clothes on. What I mean is their privates are hanging out.
Oh, it's good. Okay.
It's completely
your
different.
First time to see a Pikachu prick. You're about to catch that.
Don't drop the N-word. Yes, we've got that one. Thank you, Raptor.
Was that? Do I look like a person who would do that? I probably shouldn't pose questions.
We're going to get to that because
the group. Yeah.
Thanks to News Junkie, for the past few weeks I've ended the show with what I call 3 simple questions, and basically it's what we used to do to the people in the audience on News Junkie.
Okay.
So at the end of the show, I'm going to ask you, if you had just met yourself today, what would you think your name is? Where do you think you're from? And what's a secret that nobody knows about you?
Okay. Yeah. You know if I had just met myself
today. If you just met yourself. So I'm giving you warning. I dropped it on a couple of people already. Last week, my friend Potsky was on the show, who's the encyclopedia of gaming.
Potsky and Dubsky.
Yeah.
You guys are brothers, is that right?
Sadly, yes. Yes, I believe so.
The Ski family.
But anyway, he said he was Jack from Catoosa, and I don't remember what his secret was, but I was really impressed that he thought he looked like a Jack, and that he looked like he was from Catoosa.
Sure.
Because I would have said maybe Earl from Oneida.
Sure. Well, everybody in Catoosa has a weird pinched face look as a result of decades and decades of inbreeding. For our New Zealand friends, Catoosa is a real jiggly mood.
You don't even remember the word used before?
No, and I'm not going to get them back. No. Everything that comes out of this mouth disappears into the ether.
Is there such thing as... Oh, we're not even going to... Am I going to have a philosophical discussion? No.
No, not today.
Not today.
No one's ever had a philosophical discussion on Twitch.
I have, but it was with him alone. He was in the chair.
A pet behind yours on your back? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay, little Ollie?
If you guys hear him growl, please let us know, because we can't... He's close to the mic.
The first 30 minutes I was here was trying to gain friendship with Ollie.
Good luck.
Yeah.
He's been my dog for 10 years. He's very rude.
I like the idea that he was someone else's dog before. Was he?
No.
Okay.
He was a puppy.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So he was just born.
He actually... The funny thing about him is whenever he's acting up or acting real... unsociable.
Sure.
I call him by the name that the original owners gave him, and for some reason 10 years later he still remembers
What's the name? Do you want to... Is it like a...
No.
Is it like because a death word, like in Dune, or
we've
what?
called him Oliver for 10 years.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But if he's like barking, I'll go, Casper! And he'll just stop and look at me.
Oh, no. You're so friendly. A friendly ghost.
But for some reason, he remembers that, even though he was
Yeah.
only the first 6 weeks of his life, and then for the past 10 years, no cast. But he
Primal,
remembers.
it's deep.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Where does comedy start for you?
Oh, geez, that's
Theater?
such a deep question. Not so much theater. I mean, I feel like I was always searching for acknowledgement. I'm a middle child, so I feel like that has something to do with it.
You like a bit of stage work?
Yeah,
though?
Exactly. I remember signing up for our church. Like our Catholic church always did like musicals. So they would do like the Music Man. They would do Damn Yankees, and the one I signed up for was The King and I.
You were Yul Brynner?
What's that?
You were Yul Brynner?
God, I wish I would have could have shaved my 10-year-old little head. But no, what we did
No
was
skull cap. I'm going for real.
Yeah, no, let's do this. I'm committed to my craft. I am ready for this. I will be Yul Brynner. Oh, that's my best Yul Brynner impression. Oh, don't you meddle. But what I think back about now about The King and I was one of the because he has hundreds of children, the King of Siam. And what I think back about now is we dyed my hair black.
Okay.
And we put on makeup, which was essentially yellow face. So when I run for president, you better believe they're going to pull up those yellow face pictures. Goodbye, Ollie. Oh, we lost him. We lost him too soon. But I feel like I've always had like a need for attention.
He's the Peter Mayhew of this show. He's gone too
Ollie
soon.
gone. Oh, rest in peace, Ollie.
May the third be with you.
Rest in power, Ollie.
Today's the third, right? May the third be with you.
May the third be with you.
That's for Landry.
But I think that sort of led towards a desire for comedy. Just trying to stand out from my brothers, and then that headed towards. I think I was always too afraid to do it by myself, which is part of the reason I don't really do stand-up comedy. So
you like the troupe?
Yeah, I do. There's a
you like the interaction.
There's a ability. If you fail, there's a net there to grab me. If I'm having an off night, I can still not completely.
Do you find it easier to work with people who you've worked like the troupe? Mm-hmm. People that you know pretty much what character they're going to jump into, or is it easier just to improv for real and just be like people out of the audience?
It depends.
Really?
It depends. Yeah. There's a lot. There's
the science of improv.
Yeah. Let's get deep in it, baby. That's what people want is real inside baseball. There's a thing about like improvising with someone who you have never improvised before. You can just not. Come on, bud. You're so bad at jumping. You're so bad at it. You can if you're improvising with someone who you don't like really care about, like you don't care about how that performance goes. You can give your all. Oh, like right. you can say, all right, I'm getting a laugh on this one, and you can just push it 110%. Whereas when you're with a group, you're trying to sort of group climb together. You're leading each other up. You're finding your way.
Do you find it easier to work with people who want the spotlight more than you?
No. The big thing about improv, which might not bear through with my entire performance here tonight with Dub. Can I call you Dub?
Anything.
Can I call you D?
I've been called worse.
Can I call you Ubski?
Probably.
Okay. Ubski. The thing about improv is if you try to be funny, you're gonna screw everything up. Like I used to have a show called Hammered where
Hammered
the point. Yeah, that's right. The point was if you did better than everyone else, you would have to take a shot, and that would bring your improv down to a different level. And there are certain people who are like certain stand-ups who are like really good at that, who are like giving and understand what it takes for the group to be funny. And there are certain stand-ups who actively try to make jokes during improv, which is a recipe for disaster.
So you would recommend if you prefer stand-up,
yeah,
and if you have an inclination that you're good at it,
yeah,
to maybe stay away from improv.
No, I don't know if I want to.
Because I mean, well, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you're probably potentially a scene stiller.
It's possible. There are so many like famous stand-ups now who did improv when they were younger, like Matt Bronger or Kurt Braunohler or
any of them that don't have German names?
Nope, just Germans. That's all we got right here. Meine Kraften. But there are plenty of people who can excel in both. But just know that your instincts are going to be different.
You remember the productions.
Yeah,
the productions at the parlor.
Bringing it back.
The productions at the parlor. News Junkie, Hammered, Ryan Green's drinking problem. Seems like all of them had beer or something involved.
No,
except for maybe Tom King's. Tom King's Friday Night. I don't think he like gave away liquor
actively
like we did.
had liquor as part of the problem there. Yeah,
like we were drinking on stage and giving beer to people from the crowd. Like, hey, come up for a minute. Would you like a beer? Would you like a beer?
You need this beer.
Yeah,
that is something I've sort of learned to defray over the course of like doing local comedy. Is like when I was in high school, when I first started doing improv, it was I always had to get coffee. I always had to go to Panera Bread and get coffee, an iced coffee, because I'm a simple white teenager. And then that turned into, well, I need to drink a little bit before the show to really get into it. To the point where one improv show, I was horrifically drunk in the middle of the show when I was not supposed to be. And I came to in the middle of an improv scene, which is not what you want to drop into when you are like coming out of a blackout. It's not conducive to good comedy, surprisingly.
I remember I actually forgot 6 minutes of a 10-minute set one night because of the back alley at the parlor.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. There's a series of comedians who can perform high, and there's a series of comedians who cannot, and then you mix those together, and that's a real shit show.
Yeah, but it was good for them because they got up there and looked brilliant.
You set them up. You were just being a good, kind
I
friend.
was set up.
Yeah.
You are correct about that. Mr. Brown, do you already have performed ideas whenever you do improv? Thank you so much.
I try not to. I try to, if you go into a scene with anything other than like emotion, you're liable to screw that scene up. Because it's about creating with someone.
There's a follow-up question. Do you steer the crowd towards certain ideas? Because like people have always... Either they watched on Comedy Central when it was in its infancy. You would watch marathons of Kids in the Hall and SNL. They had and Ben Stein's Money. I mean, that's the only programming they had at the time. But they would run like the old Clive Anderson Who's Line.
Sure, yeah.
And then you had the Drew Carey Who's Line, and everybody's like, "Those guys are so witty." But if you listen to what they're asking, somebody give me give me an occupation that works with water, and they're like. Plumber, firefighter. He's like, we'll take plumber. And I'm like, wait a minute.
That's a good question. Who asked that?
Mojo and Kiki.
Mojo and Kiki.
It's all one
First things first. Mojo and Kiki.
Yes.
First things first. Thank you for calling me Mister. That is too much respect for me.
And then ending your question with "Thank you so much."
Yeah, thank you so much. But it's. Part of the thing is like improv is not necessarily a thing that I think functions super well on television.
Right.
So when you have a Whose Line Is It Anyway, they're trying to craft it to get the best possible product they can. And for like every 30-minute episode, there's probably, I think, like 60, 75 minutes of content. So they'll do a 60, 75-minute show and then cut that down to 30 minutes. And there's also something about, like, there's two forms of...
I heard the figure was like 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That the audience would be in there for up to 2 hours.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
To get enough material for a 30-minute show.
Whereas if you're there live, it's an entirely different experience. Like your expectations are lower. You're in that atmosphere. It's sort of like the difference between seeing a hockey game on TV, which is a horrible, banal experience, versus seeing it live, where lots of fun stuff happens.
Do you whenever I'm sorry. This is very unprofessional.
This is disgusting. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna go. If that's okay, I'm just gonna stand in front. Okay, Ollie disagrees.
Okay.
Ollie disagrees.
No, that's...
Ollie wants me to stay back down.
Is there certain...
because you don't have to just ramp back up into it. It's okay.
Because you know already that the strengths of the people that you perform with in your troupe. is it like, okay, we're going to have you lead this game, or we're going to have you?
Sure.
I mean, and what would the attributes of an improv comic be? I mean, it's not just all right,
sure.
I'm funny. No. I mean, there's
part of it is the difference between short form and long form improv. Short form is like the stuff you see in Whose Line Is It Anyway, where it's individual games. Where this game, someone can ring the bell and we have to change what we say. This game, we're each coming in to a party and they have to guess who we are. Whereas long form improv is just either you receive a premise for the audience and you develop off of that. Like they'll say like, I had a horrible date today, and you develop off of that. Or you just come up with it, you're on your own out of whole cloth, like organic improv, like just two people standing next to each other, just figuring out what's happening in this scene based on nothing. There's different strengths and weaknesses to both, but generally like I try to like equate it to a basketball team. Like I know there's people who are centers, who are like, who can just be near the basket, who can defend, who are ready to like rebound, be ready to go, be ready to send it back out. Whereas there's people who are, like
ball handling.
Yeah, point guards, someone who's setting up the play as it comes along.
Okay.
And there are people like if I'm teaching in class, if I'm looking for someone who can direct the scene, and I'm looking for someone who is like really good at listening. Those people, that's the main attribute in improv, is just be able to listen to what the other person is giving you and react based on that. If you are not listening and you come into it like, I'm a vampire who loves vegetables, a Banicula, if you will, then that's gonna screw you up completely. That's gonna screw up the scene. Whereas if you're taking what your partner is giving you and reacting to that, then I think it's a recipe for good improv.
Is it an ability or is it a skill?
Oh God, that's a good question.
Or a talent? I should say, is
what
it a
you're
talent
asking
or a
is
skill?
like,
is it something you're born with, or can you work hard to achieve being an improv comic?
God, that's a good question. I think there's elements of both. I don't want to vacillate on it. Well, I think you can over time learn to be a good improviser.
Yeah,
I think you can over time learn to be a good improv comedian
based on your experience as an improv comedian.
Yeah.
I remember the last time we did this, I did have an idea, but I did after the show, and now I can implement that.
Exactly. It's going to, just like stand-up, it's going to take years of failing to really get your instincts up. But it's, you have to, Stephen Colbert talks about embracing the suck, which is like just...
He was Second City.
That's right. Yeah, Second City and Improv Olympic, and just knowing that you're gonna screw up a lot to get there. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you also teach improv? That's a question coming in.
Yeah. I've been teaching it at here in Tulsa, which is very minor league. I'm a fat fish in a small pond here in terms of improvisers. But I've been teaching it, for 5 years or so, just based on the fact that I have a lot of experience in it. So,
what type of person do you most like to work with?
Oh man.
Would you rather have someone who already thinks they're funny? Or
No.
would you rather have someone that's like, I'm really not sure I'm good at this?
Oh, God.
I can mold you.
That's a good question. There's lots of different kinds of improvisers, and I am a very brain-focused improviser. Like, I will try and set up things ahead of time. Which is not always the best in my own head. I'll try and set up a scene ahead of time. So the people I like to work with are more who can complement me are like heart-based improvisers who just come into a scene with just like raw, pure power and emotion, and just spin off of what I am telling them.
So basically, someone who's good at theater rather than funny.
Yeah, I think
they have to be comfortable in their own skin.
There's an old saying from like Improv Olympic and from Del Close, like the father of long form improv. If you've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he is one of the teachers in Ferris Bueller's Day Off who is like, in what way? Do you remember him? Yeah. He was sort of a heroin addicted father of improv, and his thing was truth in comedy. So what's funny is not the joke. What's funny is saying something true, I and the funny comes out of that.
See, I've heard. I I've been a fan of comedy before.
Sure.
I mean, I was a fan before I did it.
Yeah.
And Chris
God,
was
I hope everybody was.
Right.
Yeah.
But he had related a story to me about Robin Williams, because everybody thinks, oh, he was so quick on his feet and he was a great improv, but he would rehearse ideas in his mind over and over again. So when it came time to use them, it sounded like it was off the cuff, but it was really a bathtub full of experience that he would just pull a little drop of water out.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like he would rehearse ideas in his mind to the point where, do
I do like ideas in my mind like that?
Do you rehearse things in your mind before?
That's a good question.
This is the direction this could possibly go. Oh, well, we could take it this direction. And then when it actually gets on stage, it seems very quick.
Oh, man.
But you've already had the idea before.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Upski, let's talk about that. People like
That's a callback.
Chris Farley and people like Robin Williams are they're like forces of nature. They're not necessarily good.
Farley said he did one character, he just did it at different volumes.
There you go.
He was a Second City.
Yeah. Second City worked with Bob Odenkirk. Yeah.
The class before that, I think, was the Bonnie Hunt, Steve Carell class.
Oh, yeah.
Because Farley was young when he went through Chicago.
All the John Belushi. Those are all people who use their own power to create comedy, and those are not necessarily the best improvisers because they're blessed with funny in their bones. Whereas great improvisers are working with other people to create that.
What about? Yeah. Are you familiar with classic SNL?
Sure, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so first season.
Yeah.
First series of actors that they had: Belushi, Aykroyd, Murray Curtin, Garrett Morris.
Sure.
All sketch comedians.
Sure. Yeah.
And then Lorne Michaels leaves the show, and it turns into a stand-up show. They bring in Eddie Murphy and Piscopo and Billy Crystal and these people. When it comes to improv, would you rather work with sketch comedians? Would you? I mean, which one fits? Sure. Which one fits that sketch comedy? That's sketch comedy is closer to improv, wouldn't it be? Only it's scripted.
I mean, a lot of sketch, at least in the way an Upright Citizens Brigade teaches it, or Groundlings teaches it. It's based in improv. What you're trying to do in improv is create a good sketch just off the dome. But it depends on in something in terms of SNL. I mean, Eddie Murphy is a once in a generation talent. You can't possibly deny how great he was.
Show.
Yeah,
he was in almost every skit.
Exactly. And Adam Sandler was a stand up. David Spade was a stand up. And it seems like they'll sort of go back and forth. You'll get into an Adam Sandler, David Spade, Rob Schneider stand up section, and then you'll dip into
but then you had the
Molly
Phil
Shannon,
and the
Phil Hartman,
Groundlings.
Jan Hooks is incredible.
Was incredible. These great sketch people.
Exactly. And I mean, it's hard to say, but I think I would prefer. If I'm looking for improv, I'm looking for sketch people.
Do improv comics get hecklers? Has anyone ever rushed this stage?
Oh, nobody's ever rushed the stage or rust the stage. Honestly, the one I do remember is during that Hammered show, a show that involves alcohol. These people were already but the show started. And people were this group of women were already yelling at me. They wanted to take shots from the stage. And I was like, no, sorry, I can't do that. I can't give you a shot. It's against the law, but if you sneak one, I won't know about it, wink, wink. And I was like, okay, that'll shut them up. And then we go through one show, they're still talking. I ignore it. And this is maybe 2 years into my public performing career. And then we do another sketch, and in the middle of it I hear, what the fuck is happening? And after the sketch I'm like, thank you so much everybody, great job. And I turn to them and I go, hey, I heard somebody in the middle of that say, what the fuck is happening? I feel like you would know what is happening if you shut the fuck up. And then one of them goes, you're being really rude. And I think I blacked out at that point. My eyes turned black, like the guy from Limp Bizkit. And I yelled at them for a while. I said, get out. And then I find out afterwards that the guy with them has threatened me to a fight, has threatened me to a duel, proposed a duel. He's like, hey, listen, if he gets out of the show, I'm gonna be over at this bar next door. Why doesn't he come and find me? And I'm like, I'm not gonna get into a fight over a comedy, man. That's just not gonna happen. But yeah, no, we get hecklers all the time. Whether it's people like, if you've seen the movie, Ted, the movie with the teddy bear and Mark Wahlberg. They go to a show and they give out topics like 9/11 or Bill Cosby, trying to screw up improvisers. And then people who do not have a natural sense of humor or have no creativity of their own will come to my improv show and yell out those things at my show. There's all sorts of fun stuff.
All right.
That.
First of all,
sure.
Let me slip in a subtle happy birthday to you. It's your birthday on Wednesday.
You.
By saying that's a Limp Bizkit reference for a man that's only 33.
Sure.
Good for you.
No, I was right in the middle of the Limp Bizkit area. Are you kidding me? I'm so glad I did not have money in my teenage years, because I would just have 7 or 9 Limp Bizkit records, or CDs most likely, but yeah.
If they'd actually done that.
Oh yeah, no, God.
If they
Let's
hadn't
go
died
through
before.
them. Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. That's all I know.
Yeah. Secondly, I had a show at Lot 6.
Yeah.
And of course,
it's like an art bar.
Yeah,
like
of course I was my first year in comedy, I was trying to get attention.
Sure.
So it was a little shock humor.
Yeah.
Edgy. And I remember there was a woman on the front row with her other lady friends around the table that were sitting there going, sad white man. That's what they called me on stage. And the only way I could think of getting out of there by saving face in some way was I made eye contact with her, did one more masturbation joke, which took about 4 minutes, and then I got off stage and handed Katie Van Patten a cold microphone.
Yeah.
Here, you take them.
Here, good luck with this.
Yeah. But I mean, what do you people? It's a comedy show. Why are you there to start trouble?
I don't know. I don't know why people go to. I don't want people to be there if they don't enjoy what they're seeing, but there's so many people who will go.
There was a ticket.
Yeah.
You paid money to come in here and heckle people?
Sure, yeah, why not? Yeah. No, that's what I do with my Friday, Saturday nights. I mean, I'm here on this Friday night, but most Friday nights I go to places and I criticize people for doing something that I'm not doing.
What was... what
can I say?
The question was, what was the premise of your best show? But I'm going to twist it a little bit. I'm going to ask it like this: what was a moment that you were on stage asking for ideas from the audience that as soon as they said it, you lost your poker face and just went completely smiled and you're like, I can work with that.
Oh, geez, that is a great question. Who was that?
Mojo.
You're in it, man. Or woman, Mojo and Kiki. Man or woman, or a person of indeterminate gender. God, I'm trying to think of like a really good one. A good suggestion. Honestly, the problem is most shows leave my brain like right after I do them. That's the great thing about improv is it's so
you don't
ephemeral.
have to remember a set.
I don't have to remember anything. It's good when the set is horrible because I can immediately excise it from my mind. That's not what usually happens. But
that's the drunk comedy show.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're done with improv now. Let's take a few shots and call it another improv show.
Yeah. Perfectly fine. Honestly, I can't think of a suggestion off the top of my head that was particularly great. I'm sorry to be a disappointment. I can remember one that was particularly bad.
Let's go polar opposite. What's the one that as soon as
any Donald Trump suggestion, there's no like fruit to be gained from that, especially in Oklahoma. Am I allowed to say that that's where we are?
Yeah.
So you can see it right outside the window there.
Dude,
that's Tulsa. This is all
I
Tulsa.
bark for Tulsa all the time.
There we go. But
I remember being at the Rabbit Hole during I think it was Peter Bedgood's calendar release party or something.
Yeah.
And Jason and Sean Singleton were going to do a couple of improv games.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up Trump.
Yeah. It's like
all right, Donald Trump, and they're both like,
What benefit could I have here? Either people hate me for doing this because they love Donald Trump, or people are just agreeing with me like
polarizing.
A choir
You know, nobody ever picks
preaching to the
like
choir.
suggestions that aren't polarizing. They want to trip you up when you ask them for suggestions.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's like whenever Michael C. Hall does 5-word freestyle. It's like, all right, give me 5 words, and somebody goes snorkel, and he's like, how do I find snorkel?
I just prefer to avoid food suggestions. There's not a lot you can get out of food.
Food?
Yeah. People think pineapple is funny. I don't know why. Pineapple
Because it makes a good bong.
Inherently, does it really?
Apparently.
We've all heard of an apple bong. I've never tried a pineapple bong. Seems like there's too many spikes on it. I would be worried about those things. A
need a
pineapple
snorkel.
is an intensely defensive fruit.
Give.
I'm going to hold like this for the rest of the time. Can I say thank you for this tiny fan we have down here?
Oh, yeah.
I was very worried about the amount of sweat I was going to produce during this show. But this fan is really doing wonders.
We are semi-professional here.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So
Yeah.
that's my biggest fan. That's the biggest fan of the show.
Thank you.
Mojo is second.
You're my little mojo.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I did almost screw up by bringing this shirt to wear today. This shirt here, I was going to wear this on the set, but as you can see, I'm kind of blending in.
Can you see the monitor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God.
All right, what other questions did you have for me? This is me for the rest of the show. I'm just part of the Tulsa skyline.
I'm waiting for the delay to catch up so I can see it. I don't want to look over at the monitor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it does have a little bit of color to.
There's a little bit.
I don't
Yeah.
get it. It's such a rich green.
You would think like
chroma key.
like a nice blue.
I've worn sky blue, and for some reason it blends in with the chroma key. I have
Sure.
no idea why. Probably because for certain things, probably for the most part, because people don't wear a lot of reds.
Right.
Usually, maybe I should go with a magenta because you can do a magenta chroma key.
Okay. All right.
You have 3 chroma key colors. You have the blue screen,
Sure.
the green screen, and
the
the
famous
magenta
early
screen.
blue screen.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. How's that? Just a floating blue head. The largest part of my body, my stupid head. I'm sorry. We were talking about something before I got off on a tangent.
Where is the worst place to perform improv? Do you ever
Outside.
really? So you
Outside
guys
sucks.
have you guys ever done like with the crayons? You're part of an improv troupe. Have you guys ever done? All right, we have a show this weekend. Let's go out and do some sidewalk performances to attract people and maybe get them interested in coming inside. Have you guys ever done that?
My worst.
It's almost like street witnessing.
One of my. Amen, brother. My one of my worst shows was at a museum sort of place nearby here in Tulsa. At the Hardesty Arts Center, but I assumed they were going to give us a room to do improv, but we were just doing improv in the what do you call it, the gallery, gallery.
Where should we perform at?
Yeah.
Improv it.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, there's certain. It's like people, we would be doing improv, and an old man would wander up and say, "What's this now?" Like in the middle of it, people were just wandering through our scenes. Because I mean, just like stand up, people don't understand.
I'm surprised it didn't happen more at the parlor with that 6-inch stage. Like,
oh
people
yeah, for sure.
People is the bathrooms back there?
Up. Yeah,
we're
sorry,
doing a
looking
scene.
for them.
We're doing a scene here, but the bathroom's over there. Okay.
People don't understand there's certain like requirements for a performance that you kind of need. You know,
like nobody walking through.
Yeah. That reminds me of a story like about like early Upright Citizens Brigade stuff where Horatio Sanz was sort of a side member, and he decided to start in Chicago a revolution with him as the leader. So he got everybody to have torches, and he led the entire audience outside. And then a neighbor got frightened, called the cops. And they arrested Horatio Sanz from SNL and put him in the back of a cop car. And he like kept going with the character. He was like, "Let's overthrow Mayor Daley." And they got around the corner from the theater, and he was like, "Okay, guys, seriously, this is a performance. I can't do this. Is a performance. I'm not doing this."
He breaks character.
Yeah. So it's that type of commitment that I'm honestly shooting
That's
for.
pretty good because most of the time I saw him on SNL, he was breaking in the middle of a scene.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon corpsing in the middle of a scene that is funny to no one.
You know, first time I see you, I think he's a natural born cork soaker. Let's see. Where are we at on the questions? Where's the worst place to perform improv? Oh, do you have to walk on eggshells or keep your act PC for improv?
You can go to a certain extent. There was one, I was doing short form improv, and there's a game where you bring audience members on stage, and like when you're just doing a scene. Goodbye, Ollie. Good luck, friend. When you're doing a scene, you just at a certain point you reach over and you touch them on the shoulder, and they give you a word.
Okay.
This audience member, and I was like, man. That hamster, it was like, man, that hamster looks just like A. And I reach over and touch him on the shoulder, and he says, black person. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this?
You're the worst audience member ever. Go sit down.
If I remember correctly, I was like, that hamster looks just like a black person, a normal, easygoing member of society, contributing and living their own life. It was, there's certain lines you can cross, but I don't think you can go as far as like an Anthony Jeselnik, for example.
Oh, no.
As long as you have to know where your target is. You have to know that if you're making a joke, the target needs to be the idiot making that joke, or it needs to be the society at large. It doesn't need to be somebody lower than you in social status.
Right.
And like, for example, like in an improv scene, if there is a monster or a racist or an idiot, they have to get what's coming to them at the end of it. At the end of that scene, they need to have a downfall. So yeah.
So monsters, idiots and racists are all in.
Yeah.
They're all.
Although idiots can be fun. I don't want to take that back. An intentional idiot versus a fun, goofy idiot. But yeah.
Have you ever been part of, this isn't a question, but I'm just curious. Have you ever been part of a troupe or wanted to join a troupe that once you went there, you were like, okay, if this was high school theater, that person would be a lead and that person would be a tree? I mean, you know what I mean?
Like been part of a group where it's like, okay, clearly this is the star and this is the oh man,
you're a shepherd.
Yeah.
You have no lines.
Yeah.
You're a prop.
You know, I wish I was a good enough improviser. There's a story about like Tina Fey doing improv where it was like every person who was going up with this specific person was just sucking because this guy was a black hole of comedy. And then Tina Fey got up there and she turned it around based on him. Like, that's what good improv is it's like judo or jiu-jitsu. You're using, or aikido maybe is a better point, like some real
using someone else's
momentum against them,
right,
or to throw them into something cool. As an improviser, I always wanted to be someone who could improvise with anyone. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't know that I'll ever be there because I am
really good.
Just,
you can lift up.
Exactly. Yeah, you use what they're giving you to turn it around. But there's plenty of times where I'm like, I would rather not do a scene with this dude.
Sweet D dates a you-know-what. Oh, she's talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Sure, yeah.
Sweet D dating a retarded person.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, worked because she ended up at the end the jerk. You know, she ended up the bad
exactly.
person.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. Because
she was, and that always happens in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because every one of them is the worst person in the world, so they are always failing. But they come out at the end, even if they fail, they're like, well, we did great. We succeeded. We did wonderfully.
But every character on that show had a sympathetic attachment for.
Mm-hmm.
Dee never got the guy.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito. Okay, so Frank,
a little goblin monster.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, his kids are horrible. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Dee, I feel sorry. She never wins in the end. Dennis, with all of his bravado and arrogance and smugness, he still comes up short.
Yeah, every time he's punctured.
Charlie has his downfall. Whether
Charlie
it's
is just sad throughout.
Yes,
But
Mac, there is no sympathy for Mac. It's he's a horrible person, and you know he doesn't win in the end, but there isn't a sympathetic side to him.
Did you see?
I really hate his character, truly, which means he's a great actor. If you hate someone on film, they are so good at their job.
And he is basically the main producer of that show. Rob McElhenney is the big writer and producer, and like the ability to make your own character the most odious and horrible is it's wonderful. It's valuable.
We'll take one more question about the improv, and then we
have more, guys.
Other things to move on to. Which improv troupe is the best of all time?
Oh man, the best of all time.
Now you're going to make enemies here.
Sure,
You're going to lift someone up, and then there's going to be all the bottom feeders and
this is the
also rans that
of
are going
my
to be
career. In all improv
Choose
troupes of all
wisely.
time, every improv troupe that has existed.
They're all the best.
Yeah,
Good. Good. That's,
No. Is that was my question? Am I allowed to pick from any?
Any.
There is the one that really got me into long form improv was one called The Swarm, which is Andy Daly. Andy Daly? I'm trying to think.
Not familiar.
He had a TV show on Comedy Central called Review.
Okay.
He was the principal in the first season of Eastbound and Down. He almost always plays a doctor or of some sort. Andy Daly, Andy Secunda, Billy Merritt, and Sean Conroy are 4 guys who were in The Swarm, and they had this show called A Slow Waltz Around Rage Mountain. And when I was in high school, early video of the internet, I saw an upload of Slow Waltz Around Rage Mountain that was so life-changing for me. I was like, oh, I've got to do this. So maybe it's nostalgia, but I think The Swarm is my favorite improv group of all time.
Now,
so,
do you put sketch like the National Lampoon's group, or are you including them, or is it just?
Am I including them in improv? No.
Is it just improv groups that you're?
Right now, I'm just thinking about improv groups. But if we're talking about sketch. Oh God!
I'd go Footlights.
Footlights like in Cambridge. With every member of Monty Python and that's,
Dudley Moore. Peter Cook was at Cambridge at the time.
Well, that kind of thing is so long lasting. They go through so many members. They can do so many so many incredible.
All right,
performers.
one more improv question.
Yeah.
What's the one that's really carried on? I mean, what improv group has really stayed relevant for a longest period of time?
I mean, there's groups in schools like the Second City, which is no individual person, which is just they keep cycling people through the Groundlings. But I mean, honestly, right now the UCB, because there's 4 main ones who have such a huge effect on comedy right now. I don't think you can watch a comedy TV show without knowing someone who
went through
a UCB system. Yeah. Not to say that they are the end all be all. There's so many different ways of looking at it. But
is there one that you are looking forward to? I might take a little trip outside Tulsa. Go check this out. Oh, geez,
yeah,
I mean, is there a dream there? Is there
sure, yeah. I mean, I would love to take classes in another
Chicago?
place.
I mean, where are you going?
It's the difficult part is there's something about improv that is very prone to cult-like status. Improv is a cult. You devote your life to it. So there was one place in New Orleans and Austin called the New Order, where I was like, oh wow, cool. I really like the way they work. I really like their system, and I was like, I want to go take classes with them. And then it came out that both of the founders of the New Order were sexually harassing people and ignoring it and all sorts of fun stuff. So you have to kind of be careful to committing yourself to any one thing.
But let's just say you're like me before I got married, and you're a lonely guy, and that kind of appeals to you. You're like, wait, I can learn improv and I can get a little sexual harassment
just on the side. Ain't no thing.
Yeah, if somebody wants to pat me on the butt, I'm good with that.
If you want to be the victim of sexual harassment, I don't think it's sexual harassment at that point. Yeah, I think that's sexual fun. Consent, baby. Children, if you remember anything from today's stream, it's that consent is important. There's nothing left in this class.
Would you like a water?
Yeah, sure, I'll take a water. Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah. Toss it. Thank you.
And we're back.
There we go. I don't want everyone to see my water. I'll just hide it under there. Don't worry, I'm just drinking my water, guys.
You know what this studio needs?
My water?
Oh my god. Please.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Do you know what this studio needs?
A little water cooler by the side, a hose for us to drink out of,
a mini fridge.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah,
like bachelor pad mini fridge, or like when you wanted you were still living at home but you were of age.
Sure, yeah, I got my own fridge, no big deal. My parents don't really come back here very often. It's 5 or 10 feet from my mom's room, so whatever.
Let's talk about some nerd stuff.
Yeah, sure. Let's get into it.
What do you like to nerd out on? Are you comic books? Are you movies? Are you video games? You like board games? You like digital? What's your
That's a good question. I keep saying that.
Eventually it'll be true.
Dubs, my friends. I never got into comic books because they were too expensive. Like I had to, you would have to, if you wanted to keep up with it, you would have to buy an issue or two here or there.
But that was before 2019 and ticket price.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you want to keep up on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're like, I wish I'd bought the books.
Better be ready. Throwing down $20 every other month. I never got into comic books. I was always pretty into comedy. Always pretty into that sort of a thing. I just recently got into Dungeons and Dragons. Now it's having a moment, obviously, like with role playing games, like
Jeff the Dungeon Master. Right?
I haven't been a dungeon master, not yet. I'm a recent convert, but that is surprisingly fun. That is like a level of nerd that I thought, I'm 32, I'm 33, probably never going to get there. But it's at any time you can develop more nerdy hobbies.
I get upset with people that say I'm in high school and people call me a nerd. It's like, no, it's when you're doing the things you're doing now. When you're 35, then you're a nerd. Right now you're just finding your voice or whatever. But if you're 40 years old still living at home doing those things, then you're a nerd.
There we go.
So don't let those people put you down.
Exactly. I think it's funny to me that when it comes down to it, I feel like the geeks and the nerds won the cultural war because Sunday Night Football is still the most watched TV show and will always be the most watched TV show. But it's like every other movie is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like every other thing, like Stranger Things has brought like Dungeons and Dragons to a whole new level. When Chris Hardwick is a cultural person who is so high up there, when The Walking Dead is like a huge TV show, like we have won the culture war, like nerds
rule the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So but then on another hand, like there is no one more angry and shitty towards other people than a geek. Like
than an entitled nerd.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. God forbid you should have to share your space with someone else. Oh, man. I'm going to pour this water into my coffee cup.
There's only Star Wars. Star Trek is for dorks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, wait, no?
Well, you're a girl dressing up as Batman. What, you probably can't even tell me Batman's cousin's middle name. Let people enjoy things. Let people like things. Drink a well-earned drink of self-confidence here. Of arrogance. Yeah, my more focused, nerdy interests, always into movies, always into books. Big Star Wars nerd when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question because, we're flooded right now with like 6 Marvel movies a year and 2 Star Wars movies a year. So which one are you more?
Oh, man.
Which one are you more?
I don't know everybody's feelings, but I love The Last Jedi. There's very few movies where I am like angry at them for yeah. I'm mostly accepting because I understand how hard it is to make a movie. At any one thing could go wrong in a movie and it could be complete trash. So it's honestly amazing that we have any good movies at all.
Well, there's the comparisons of I don't know what you're grabbing about the price of that hamburger. When I was a kid, we could get 5 hot dogs for a nickel, and that kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And the comparisons between me and my children. Oh, you're griping because there's nothing to watch on the 150 channels on television. I only had 3 channels,
7,000 streaming networks.
Or you're griping because you can't find meth. When I was your age, it wasn't 6 houses on the street making meth.
You got to make your own meth.
Yeah, that's right.
This is about natural, no GMO meth.
I actually saw a thread the other day where people were griping because Star Wars hasn't released anything in a while. I'm like, do you guys realize what we went through? We would get a movie every couple of years, and then we'd have to wait 10 years for it to come out on VHS.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
There were 3 Star Wars, and that was it.
That was it. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you people talking about? Yeah. You're so entitled.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Which do you prefer the Marvel universe? You prefer?
Oh,
I mean, have you already been? Because I haven't seen Endgame yet.
Yeah,
and I don't believe in spoilers. So
sure, yeah. Oh, you don't believe in the concept of spoilers?
No, not really.
I'm not gonna say anything.
I don't want
Mojo to get
because
upset.
this is an interesting question. What is the statute of limit? What's the time limit after a movie is released before you can say something?
Before you can talk
even
about
if
it?
Somebody like me hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah. I think, like, in my head, I don't think that knowing the ending of a movie is going to spoil the enjoyment of that movie for me. But I also understand
unless
that
it's
for
a
other
murder
people,
mystery.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I had the ending of The Sixth Sense spoiled for me before I saw it, but I don't think that changes the artistry of a movie or a book or anything. But I am also not going to do that to someone else because everybody's experience is different. So all I'm going to say is that it turns out Thanos is Tony Stark. So that's, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for you.
I'm gonna spoil a little further. Yoda dies in this one.
That's right. Yoda's been dead the entire time.
Yeah.
Yoda is a dead person.
Unless it's Agatha Christie, you're not gonna spoil it for me.
That's an actual murder, a Poirot murder mystery. That's Poirot. I could spend the rest of this stream just saying that name.
Okay, I do get annoyed by little things like Malkovich.
What do you mean?
Everybody talks about what a brilliant actor he is, and everybody I see him in, he's always playing John Malkovich.
There's a great story
to the point that now on Amazon, he's the new Poirot.
Oh,
in the ABC murders.
Okay, all right.
And they let him keep his goatee. Hercule Poirot was known for his
very
mustache.
much known for his mustache. Yeah.
And they're letting Malkovich get away with this, and I'm like, what? He's not even that good.
One of my favorite.
He's brilliant.
John Malkovich stories was, you've seen Rounders?
Yes.
The poker movie?
Yes.
In it, he is Teddy KGB, and he has the most pronounced Russian accent. And Matt Damon, I think the story was Matt Damon's. He was talking about being on set, and John Malkovich comes in, and he just gives this outsized, ridiculous performance. I splash the pots whenever the fuck I want, and everybody in the crew is clapping. They're like, John Malkovich, so amazing. And then while they're clapping, he leans over to Matt Damon and he goes, "I'm so bad at this." And then they continue filming for the rest of the time. I love that so much.
I used to use the argument that I didn't like Malkovich because he always plays John Malkovich. He never really does he's not a character actor. He doesn't really immerse himself in the character. But then I couldn't use that argument anymore because I'm a huge fan of Gene Hackman.
Gene
Hackman always plays
Gene Hackman. There's when you come down to it, you're not going to notice the difference between The French Connection and the Royal Tenenbaums. He's kind of the same guy. But I just love that guy.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is always Tom Cruise, and despite his religious predilections, I still love watching him run and jump and do incredible things.
I once got told off for telling a friend that Sherlock Holmes died at Reichenbach Falls.
How long?
Yeah, what's the span of time before you go, okay, I don't want to spoil it for you, even though this came out in the Strand magazine in the late 1800s, but Sherlock dies in this one.
Well, now you just spoiled it for everyone. Who wrote that? Who was that?
Guyver in the UK.
Come on, man. You just spoiled it for everyone right there. What are you doing?
He's a good Yorkshire lad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, I'm gonna have to.
How has no one commented about how fat I am? I thought that would be something that would come up immediately.
Do you know what?
On the internet.
It was actually. It was implied in a comment earlier.
Sure.
Here's the format of the show. Generally, we talk about whatever the entertainer's into. Like if they're into music, we talk about music.
Sure.
Comedy, and then we talk about things to nerd out on because it is Twitch. So we talk about games or something, and then we always end every episode talking about food porn. And somebody at the beginning said, "I can't wait till we get to the food talk," and I'm like, "Are you calling him fat?" But I didn't say anything because wait for it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Wait for it. Let's see. That's the elephant in the room.
Bam, bam,
very nice. Very nice. I'm going to owe you some money. Apparently, people like two things that you've said, and they think it would be good on an Agent Dubsky t-shirt.
Oh, what's that?
One of them is, Mr. Brown says consent is important.
Consent is important.
And the other one is, let people like things.
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ. That's, you're entitled to have your opinion, but your opinion doesn't transcend to other people. All right? Let people like things. It has to be said in that. Can you print out a t-shirt with that intonation in it?
No, I can't even get my point across in text. I text people and they're like, "Are you being sarcastic or earnest?"
Sounds like italics.
I'm like, but if they're right here in front of me, they can't tell if I'm being sarcastic or earnest. I have that kind of delivery.
Sure. Yeah.
They're like, I don't trust him. I can't tell if he's. All right, you guys get what you want. Are you a adventurous eater? Do you like to try different cuisines?
I'll try any weird shit once. Yeah, I don't. There's nothing. There's no specific food that I hate. I've never
Sriracha
been a picky person. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not huge into spicy things.
Right.
I will do spicy food, but I'm not a guy. I'm not a guy who gives a shit about sneakers, and I'm not a guy who wants to have the spiciest food possible.
Sneakers.
Yeah, that's just the sneakers, like a sneakerhead would have your latest Nikes. This is unrelated.
No. But he's an
completely.
improv
Yeah,
comic, so
yeah.
there's a dress code. You have to have a T-shirt that has some kind of comic book character on it, or some kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need an ironic
You need a
T-shirt.
flannel.
You need baggy jeans, and you need Chucks.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
That's pretty
That's
much
how you do
That's
it.
why I didn't get in.
Yeah.
I'm an Adidas guy, and they're like, you need Chucks.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I'm
I don't wear
sorry.
Chucks, and they're like, you're
so
not
sorry.
an improv comic. You're just not.
You're out.
Yeah. When you say spicy, are you talking like spicy, or are you talking spicy? Like, are you talking like peppers, or are you talking like horseradish that gets you up here and opens your nose?
Peppers.
Okay.
Hot.
I like this stuff that.
Yeah, I'll get into that. Yeah.
Little wasabi bomb.
I've never had real wasabi. Have you?
I
Because
haven't.
real wasabi is a very specific root. Whereas most of the wasabi we have is like horseradish that is food colored green.
See, I thought I'd had I'd had real wasabi until
It's insanely expensive.
Sean Singleton came
Yeah.
on the show and let me know I've never
There's a
never
great-
had real wasabi.
There's
And
a
I'm
great
like,
video of someone cultivating it, and it is like a very finicky plant.
It's
and
a root
if
that
you've
they
already
shave.
covered it, we can go on from there. Hey, Sean, go fuck yourself. This was a really good stream until you came by and screwed it up
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. Yeah, why no Agent Dub Sky?
I'm working on it.
Go,
I'm working on it.
That's what we need.
I got sidetracked. No. This is no lie. I was, and I apologize to everyone out there, but
I don't.
over and over again, I apologize. I was on a path. I had people that watched the show. They were asking for merchandise, and then I joined an online community. That
was your first mistake.
That being part of that community, they required that you support the community and promote the community. So I did more.
Okay.
And they made me like community staff, and I moved up pretty quickly.
Sure.
But I was doing nothing for my own channel. I was
Sure.
doing all the promotion for them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I promised people merch a year ago. So
Yeah.
like a few months back, I was like, I'm done with you guys.
Sure.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I love your face, but I gotta take care of my people.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
yeah, we need coffee mugs, we need hoodies, we need T-shirts, and they have to say, let people like things,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
you get a percentage.
Thank you so much. This is gonna save my life.
What is the perfect meal? Like your Last Supper type of.
Oh shit!
Okay, you're an improv guy. You're
someone
on death
about to
row.
murder me?
Okay, no.
Is that what this is?
Let's set the scene.
Okay, yeah.
You're on death row. The warden comes in and says, 6 hours till you get the chair, Brown. What do you want for your last meal?
Okay, last meal situation.
Go.
Okay. A man likes spaghetti.
I'll do the Sean Blake finger pistols.
Yeah. Are you flirting with me, sir? This is my lady friend.
I would love.
Yeah.
Is she in Tulsa? Because I know she's teaching out of state, right?
Not out of state, not quite out of state. She's in far eastern Oklahoma.
I would
Poto, Oklahoma.
I would love to have her on the show, but I never know when she's in town because that used to crack me up. Like that was her idea of foreplay.
Let's get her in here. Here she is, Shauna Blake, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, last meal.
Last meal. Oh man, that's a good question.
We're here to promote you.
I like spaghetti. I'll do most types of pasta. I'll do a macaroni and cheese. I'll do that.
Baked or in a pot?
Oh, baked all 8 days a week. I love a Kraft. There's nothing wrong with a Kraft macaroni and cheese. I love that blue box.
Breadcrumbs?
Breadcrumbs, 100%. You need that texture difference, baby.
Bacon bread?
Come on.
Bacon bread?
I don't like to sully my macaroni and cheese with a meat. I'll have a meat separately. If you want bacon on the side, that's fine. But I
like
won't
meat.
go that far.
I like meat so much that I get the mini raviolis with meatballs.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I like crap. I like crap. That's
just it. That's
the
just
end
it.
of the sentence. I like crap.
There's another T-shirt. I like crap.
Yes.
Let people like crap. Let people like crap. I like that.
Oh my God.
Let's do that. That's a good T-shirt.
I like really bad Mexican food. I don't like the authentic stuff. If this is authentic Mexican cuisine, I'm like, I'm out.
Sure.
But
Dubsy, what is the worst meal you've ever had?
Poncho's Mexican Buffet at Memorial.
Okay.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I knew at the first bite, I'm going to be on the toilet for a day and a half.
Sure, yeah.
And I ate with a big smile on my face. But as far as Italian food, Chef Boyardee. Like I like the crap version of stuff.
I'll do comfort food all day, baby.
Really?
Have you ever seen the Oklahoma State meal?
No.
It is first of all, what is the Oklahoma State vegetable? Anybody here, I'll give everybody a chance to comment. What is the Oklahoma State vegetable?
I'm going to say chicken fried steak.
You know what? You're not far off. You're not far off. That is part of the Oklahoma State meal, chicken fried steak.
Of course it is.
The Oklahoma State vegetable is the watermelon. Watermelon. Why am I so fat? Because our state vegetable is a watermelon. Not my fault. I'm not claiming responsibility for this
Somebody said round steak.
The Oklahoma State meal is, and I'm not going to get all of it. I'm not going to remember it. Chicken fried steak, barbecued pork, fried okra, pecan pie.
Which one of those is the vegetable?
Watermelon.
Oh,
the Oklahoma State watermelon. But it is just 30 different courses. And my former roommate and I have vowed to one day make the Oklahoma State meal and eat every part of it.
Was it an online kind of a joke, or it's something you wrote?
What, the actual Oklahoma State meal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's out there. Yeah,
Oh,
it's online. Yeah, that's official. That's for real. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a protein, so we got to start with chicken fried steak.
Sure. Yeah.
And we need to eat healthy, so we're gonna put barbecue ribs on the side.
And you know what? Why not? We need to get some greens in there. So why not fried okra? Fried okra. It's very powerful and
do you think the way we eat in Oklahoma has something to do with the vegan suicide rate here?
most likely. Man, Oklahoma.
I just wanted a salad. I went to 98 different restaurants.
No one had it.
No one had salad.
Not one. The closest thing I could come to salad was just a bucket of mayonnaise that they put in my hand. I just said, "Sir, can I have a salad?" And he got an ice cream scoop and he just plopped mayonnaise into my hand. I was like, what is this? Why? What am I supposed to do here?
Billy Bazaar put up a meme a couple weeks ago, and it made me laugh so hard, and I'm ashamed of myself, but it said that mashed potatoes is Irish guacamole.
That's right. It's beautiful. I learned a lot about the potato famine recently. I am a curious guy, and I didn't know enough about the potato famine.
Go on.
It turned out that there was more than enough food for the Irish people, but the British government forced them to export it, more or less. So there was people they were essentially trying to get the Irish to leave Ireland. This was like an intentional. You know what? I'm this is probably a bad idea since you have UK streamers, but the Irish potato famine could have been prevented very easily. I'm probably getting facts wrong and you're screaming at me right now. I'm gonna pet this puppy. Yeah, she nipped at me.
I told you.
She nipped at me. He nipped at me.
It's a he.
I misgendered you. I apologize.
That's why he's nipped at.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy thinks I'm a girl. There's a speculation from the viewers that they can always tell how good the interview is going to be, how long he stays here.
Oh no! Oh boy!
No,
Ollie left pretty quick, right?
He's been here for quite a bit, though.
Oh, that's
he keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Would you quit?
Keeps coming back for the goods. Ollie keeps coming back.
I'd like a salad loaded. Yeah, that's an Oklahoma thing. I'll eat salad as long as you put enough eggs, cheese, and
bacon
meat
bits.
in it.
Yeah. How much ham can I have on this salad? All of it.
Or why does Tulsa have so many parks but so many fat people?
So many parks but so many fat people.
What are you implying?
I don't know. I know that you get like a gathering place, a really nice park like that, but then they have like a wandering ice cream pop vendor, so you just follow that ice cream guy around throughout the park, and whatever exercise you do is offset by the amount of sugar you take in.
This is something that I don't think South Tulsa comics really would know about. If you're a loony bin comic, I'm sorry, we're gonna speak a language you don't know. Food trucks.
Oh yeah, I love a nice food truck. Yeah.
What you got a favorite?
Oh man, Lone Wolf is pretty incredible. Although they're not as much a food truck anymore.
You like truck tacos?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll
street tacos.
When it comes to tacos, the more vulnerable I feel when I'm ordering, the better it will be. like Mr. Taco down in on Lewis, south of Admiral on Lewis is a wonder, because like when I go there, I'm like, yeah, I might get shot. I don't know. It could happen at any time, and they have like a little sauce that smells like cigarette butts but tastes like magic. Highly recommend Mr. Taco. Highly recommend Tacos Don Francisco. Any taco place that has to have its own security guard, you're like, oh, this shit's gonna be good.
Can we go back to the sauce for Mr. Taco? It smells like cigarette butts.
Smells like cigarette butt,
but tastes like
magic. Yeah.
There's a picture.
Also, what they say about me.
There's a picture from your birthday.
Yeah.
On social media, just happy, and it has 33.
And
the 33 is right over a bowl that you refer to in the picture of as a bowl of cheese and shrimp.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at around the edges of the number 33, and that does not look like shrimp and cheese.
No.
What was in the bowl?
Around the edges was a series of pieces of toast, of bread, for you to dip into it. It was sort of like fondue. It was like cheese and crab and shrimp. And
who mixes dairy with seafood like
apparently
that?
the fine Creole people.
Okay.
This was at I can't remember the name. Of the restaurant, but it was
other than a bisque. I can't imagine anything that has cream and
strange,
seafood
right?
together.
It is strange. Like a cheesy fish is not something you necessarily want to have. But this was delicious. I got to tell you, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Wow. The New Orleans, New Orleans. It's another good. See, when you see me, you're like, Jeff. Boy, he's good at like coming off the dome, so he must have a lot of good accents. Y'all know right here. You hear?
El Guapo's $1 Taco Tuesday.
I'll get down with that. I don't think they're the best, but they're $1. So
where's El Guapo's? Is that a truck or is that a place?
It's a place. Yeah,
okay.
It's on Elgin. Do your New Zealand listeners want to know exact geography?
No. El Guapo's is that the place that was next door to the parlor?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
I should have known.
So anytime you were at the comedy parlor and you heard people stomping and singing "Happy Birthday" above us, that was El Guapo's. The handsome man. El Guapo.
That was the worst. It was like you have all this seating downstairs, but instead at Saturday night at 8 o'clock when we're doing a show, you see you see people right above our stage.
Something cool about El Guapo's is that a lot of it back in the 60s, 70s, 50s was a whorehouse.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, another cool thing about El Guapo's is apparently right next to the sound booth at the parlor was where the pipes from their toilets were, because you could hear every
that
flush
running down, every bit of it. I have to pee so bad right now. The fact of the toilet flush really has me going, I'm needing to go pee. Ollie, help me.
Do you really?
I do.
We'll wrap it up.
How much time do we have left?
As much as, well, not that much now.
Not that much? I can run and be back real quick. Do you and Ollie want to make noise and then I'll come back?
Go on. If you.
Where's the bathroom? Right around the corner? All right. Keep it. Don't do it. I didn't do it. Okay.
He's going to come with you.
Okay, come on, Ollie. Where are we? This way?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
no. We'll be right back. No, I'm kidding. We're going to stay here. I can't believe. All right. For future guests, if you come on this show, go pee. Go number one before you sit down. All right.
You were so fat, Thanos had to snap twice.
Did somebody type that?
No.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Jeff will be right back, I promise. In the meantime, how's everybody doing? How are you doing?
As soon as it's over, I'm gonna leave because I slapped wet shoes on bare feet and it's starting to get.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up when he comes back.
Horrific.
We're not going to keep him much longer. I thought he's a comic. I thought he was making a joke. So we were talking about the toilet flushing right above the comedy parlor. It was El Guapo's restaurant, and the bathroom was up there. So we were actually saying something about, the toilet flushing. He goes, I got to pee so bad right now. Talking about toilet flushing. I thought he was making a joke. I was like, do you really? He's like, yeah, I really do.
Let's go back. Let's go back. You're defending me so fiercely.
I was talking to the producer of the show, Mrs. Dusty, off camera. All right, get back.
I'm back. Oh, Dusty.
Your guest got thinner.
Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of water coming out there. Oh, jeez.
Okay, let's just take an intermission.
Nope, we're back, baby.
The tacos are small. You know, are you a fan of elote?
I like an elote. I like a puffy taco from time to
the
time.
puffy fish tacos are amazing. Mm-hmm. Are you a this seems to be staying on Mexican food for some reason.
Sure.
The Rio Verde.
I can't say I've ever been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's over, it's on the north side of 244 and Utica, kind of it's this tiny little hole in the wall, but they do a shrimp taco that's amazing, but they also do a fish taco, a fried fish taco. Mm-hmm. And they put, it's not a it's a guacamole sauce.
Okay.
So it's like a
little thinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
I'll get down on that. Anybody from another country want to join me? Come on in. We'll go to El Rio Verde.
I hear your wife telling Ollie to chill. He got a little of, I don't know.
He literally the entire time I was walking back here, Ollie was circling in front of me trying to prevent me from getting back. He was like, I can sense that you're doing a bad job on this stream, Jeff, and I want to keep this from continuing. So he's just making moves in front of me.
And then the producer over there said a joke about you're so fat that Thanos had to snap twice.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, half of me, like most of me turned into dust, but then it just sort of like stopped halfway through.
And the other half shed a tear for even suggesting such a thing. Half of me disappeared, the other half cried.
See, I knew I shouldn't have opened the floodgates to fat jokes. I knew they were coming, but I shouldn't have let everybody go for it.
There's no... You know, here's the thing. There has not been a comedian in the past 5 years that was censored for a fat joke. So I think it's like the last thing we have.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're good with it. Yeah. Because it's like something you bring on yourself. It's like, it's not people consider being fat like something that you did rather than something you are. Does that make sense?
Where people see like a size of a person, they naturally think it's a result of something rather than...
And it is up to a point. I mean, but yeah.
No, there's people that are just large.
Yeah. And in charge.
You know what I mean?
I wish I should start wearing more Hawaiian shirts.
Like Stephen Fry. Mm-hmm. He was just a big man.
He's a big guy. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's tall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And did you say he was? Is Stephen Fry dead?
No. I mean,
okay.
No, but he did thin down.
That's true. Yeah.
Just about the time after he came to America and he visited all the different states in his black cab, his London taxi. When he went back and they were editing the show and things, he kind of slimmed down a little bit. And it's like, well, that's good that you made the effort, but if it's not your natural weight, you know, why bother?
Sure.
Because it's going to be a struggle to not be natural.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
There is like you know, I've lost weight before but gained it back. There is like a real fear about being unable to lose weight, because like a lot of people on like The Biggest Loser will lose all that weight, then they'll gain it back. And it's like when you are a certain weight, the ability to lose it and keep it off is really more difficult than if you start out than if you do things correctly and, you know, stay at a healthy weight. But you know, there's a fear to that which puts me off trying. Does that make sense?
I'm a be happy guy.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'd also like to not die of diabetes.
Sure. But a counterpoint to that is my grandpa, the last year of his life, right? Doctors are like, you know, you got to change your diet, no ham, no bacon, stay away from pork, don't eat fried eggs, that kind of stuff like that.
And he was just like, I'm just going to go out on
top. And he died a year later. And if we had known he only had a year left, we would have been like, eat what you want.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, be happy. He only had to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm kind of I don't.
Sure.
I don't really care.
I would like to be one of those people who gets to like a crazy centenarian age, like 115, and they come to them. The news comes to them and like, Jeff, how'd you get to 115? What advice do you have to the people? And invariably, it is never like, you know, eat healthy, meditate. It's always like drink 2 pints of whiskey and have sex with a stranger every month. It's like have 7 bowel movements a day and swallow bacon slices whole and raw. Like, I would love to be that type of a person, but you know.
When I was a kid, there was a show called That's Incredible. Right, is on
Where
Chip.
they just did crazy things.
No, they just had like people. It was more like a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Sure.
Are you cold?
No. I just wanted to be invisible.
Oh, okay. So it was more like a they would cover stories like spontaneous combustion, or
Sure.
they would have a yogi on the show that could fit himself into a box that was like 18 inches by 18 inches or something. It's like, and the crowd would go, "That's incredible!" And it was hosted by former Minnesota Vikings quarterback Fran Tarkington,
Sure.
John
Best name
Davidson,
of
and
any
Kathy Lee
sports
Crosby.
person ever. Yeah,
So-
Kathy Lee Crosby.
Yes,
Is that Kathy Lee Gifford before she became? Okay, different.
it was one of
person.
Bing's kids.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so she got
So this was
abused for a good long time.
Yeah, so this
Bing
is
Crosby was a monster.
I think she actually appears in White Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's one of the kids that's dancing around the tree at the end.
Okay.
But
Her and Fran. Yeah.
so they had this show, and I remember they had like this is the oldest man, and it was like 1970s. But they had like this guy who was like 112, and he lived in China.
Yeah.
And they're like, as part of his daily regimen, he drinks a cup of tea, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh well, that's very healthy. Smokes a cigarette and has a shot of sake, and you're like, oh, I can do that and still live to be 110.
Yeah. How do you live to be 120?
Honey, I'll take the pack of Winstons now with a pint of something really good.
Snort cocaine and shoot a drifter every morning.
Like Chris always says pork and heroin.
Yeah, pork and heroin.
Yeah, just take pork and heroin.
Shoot the pork into your veins and eat the heroin. It's a good idea.
George Burns said cigars knocked off 10 years off his life, and he lived to 90.
Oh, God.
99.
Yeah.
He would have been 110, and he smoked Havanas.
That's right, yeah. It was Gracie that gave him his power. That's what it was. And that Gracie.
Are you a fan of classic comedy?
It depends on what we're talking about. I think any comedy is like a product of its time, but there's certain stuff I like more than others. Marx Brothers are incredible, whereas I'm not as big a fan of the Stooges. Like, they're fun. They're fun, but I have preferences, you know?
You know, they always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and basically, if you look, Hollywood from the 60s on was pretty much dictated by Desi Liu.
Yeah.
Which is Desi Arnaz and his wife Lucille Ball.
Producers of Star Trek, speaking of nerd shit, they produced Star Trek, so that's why we got all the stuff we do today.
So you had, and they also did, I think, Andy Griffith, and
they
carried on. They carried on. Very talented people. Lucille Ball could sing, she could dance, she was a comedian. Desi Arnaz, of course, an entertainer as well, a musician, and a fine actor. This show looks very natural when you watch I Love Lucy now. It still holds up. And it doesn't look like they're acting. It looks like they're just talking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you go to the next series, Here's Lucy.
Yeah.
Where it's her, Desi Arnaz Jr., and Lucy Arnaz, their two children, who are the worst actors on the history of the planet.
Somewhere Desi Arnaz Jr. is crying.
I don't care. Yeah. It's horrible. It's like, you came from the best eggs and sperm on the planet. Well, what happened?
Everybody needs to know what they're good at. Like, Sofia Coppola was a unbidden, horrible nightmare in Godfather 3, whereas she is a wonderful director, and a lot of her movies are incredible. Like, what was her big movie with Lost in Translation?
Oh yeah, the Bill Murray.
Yeah, she is a great director. Whereas
that almost got Bill Murray an Academy.
Yeah,
it almost got him an Oscar. I was like,
and it introduced us to. What's her name?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yes, Scarlett Johansson. All I could think was Charlize Theron. Scarlett Johansson. So,
Charlize, I love that story.
Yeah. What story?
She was a model. She was from South Africa. Yeah. She comes to America. She dates a guy. His name is Stephen Jenkins. He's the lead singer of Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
And he dumps her, and then she goes off and does. Which movie was it that she did that she won the Academy Award for? And she just,
Monster?
Yes. Yeah. And then she just like kept ascending and ascending, and I'm like, Stephen Jenkins somewhere has a knife in his hand and his wrist exposed. Like, he's ready because he's like, I could have been riding that money train.
Well, he probably thought he was going to be big forever. He was like, I got this semi-charmed life money. Yeah. I don't need you, Charlize. And then, now I haven't heard from them in quite a while.
Step back from the edge, my friend. It's like,
you don't have to cut ties with all the lives that you've been living in. You don't have to do that. Stay with Charlize.
Let's see. Oh, not sure. I saw...
What was that one?
Okay, it's in relation to me saying that Desi Arnaz Jr. and Lucy Arnaz were the worst actors ever. Not sure. I saw an Ethan Hawke film today.
Oh, that Ethan Hawke is the worst actor ever?
I believe.
Which one are we talking about? You're not talking about First Reformed, because First Reformed was great. First Reformed was wonderful.
Were you talking about Singles? Wait a minute. Ethan Hawke was in Dead Poets Society.
True. His first role, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Coming back to the aforementioned Robin Williams.
I loved that movie. That movie came out the summer after there was 2 movies that came out the summer after I got out of high school. And it was Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner and Dead Poet Society. And I don't remember another good movie for like 10 years after. I was like, those are really good, but every time I go to cinema, I'd be like, because Dead Poets was so amazing.
It is a good movie.
It was compelling. It would keep you focused on the movie, and it was. I mean, you were invested in the characters. You know, to a degree that I don't know of a movie.
It is catnip for sad, lonely white boys. I love it so much. I was like, I could be that. I could be Puck.
Theater and drama nerd.
Me. Yeah, no, that is the type of nerd I was, a theater nerd in high school. So yeah, but
do you find anything entertaining on television?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got one vice, and it's basically the BBC series Sherlock. Because
Sherlock is good.
Every episode is like a mini movie. Every episode is an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
It's well acted. It was well cast. It was well written. I can't fault it in any way. And if I turn it on right now, I'll watch it.
Oh man,
I'll go back and rewatch it. Are
you asking if there's like something that anytime I turn on the TV,
do you have TV catnip?
Oh, geez, just recently on Netflix, I Think You Should Leave. Is a sketch show with oh man, I can't remember his name. He was a guy who was on SNL for like a minute, and he was on the TV show Detroiters. But Netflix sketch show, I Think You Should Leave, or I Think You Should Go. I can't remember. But is absolutely incredible, absolute stupidity, and I love it so much. If there's a movie I have to watch anytime it's on, oh man, any Coen Brothers movie or
That's fair.
Any episode of Freaks and Geeks, although those never come on the TV, so I don't know what I'm talking about there. You know, and the same thing as every other kind of boring guy, which is like Shawshank Redemption.
Are you familiar with Fell Army?
Fell Army, can't say I am.
It's a web series where they take like the viral videos where people are just basically busting their ass, falling, and fail.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, Fail. Okay, not Fell Army.
I'm sorry, Fail.
Fell Army sounds like a
Fail Army.
Like a.
They have their own Twitch channel now, and in between doing their videos that they post on their YouTube and stuff, they have like a little factoid for you. A fail factoid.
Yeah.
And the one I saw today was Will Smith was originally up for the role of Neo in The Matrix, but he turned it down because he thought Wild Wild West was going to do so much better at the box office.
Oh, you better believe it. Oh, sweet God. Even though it has Kevin Kline in it. I wish that The Matrix had ended with a giant mechanical spider. That would have been wonderful.
Did you like that particular group of actors together? Because I know we talked about the Christopher Guest group with Fred Willard and I almost said Madeline Kahn, Catherine O'Hara, and those people. Did you like the John Cleese, Kevin Kline, Jamie Lee? I think they also did
A Fish Called Wanda.
They did Fish Called Wanda. No, I think they also did Fierce. Was it Fierce Animals?
Fierce Creatures.
Fierce Creatures. But same group of. Did you like that? I mean, do you like it when they cast movies in a way where you're like, oh, it's that group?
Yeah, I think I kind of do. Like bringing a group back together.
Yeah, does it make you more inclined to go watch it because you're like, I liked them when they, even if the stories aren't connected.
Yeah.
But you're like, I like this group of people acting together.
I think invariably.
Here's Mojo's question just now.
What is it?
What is Ollie doing? That ain't right.
It looked like he was giving you a Hummer.
Yeah.
I need to pivot the camera down so you can see that he's not.
We should be holding Ollie up.
I won't do it.
Oh
my God, he'd bite the hell out of me. I mean, you, of course, he doesn't like, but me.
Yeah.
I don't want to annoy him. I'm on the good graces of the dog right now.
Honestly, the good graces of the dog as opposed to the good graces of God.
If he didn't own the house, we would probably be a lot different friends. But because we're renting from him,
yeah. There's a power differential there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he was renting from us, I'd be like, get off my lap right now.
Yeah.
But
this is his house.
It's his house.
Ollie's house, Ollie's rules.
Yes.
Ollie's rules are he
says
likes
let
whatever he
people
wants.
like crap.
Yeah. Let people like crap.
Now we have to pay the dog
Yeah,
percentage.
that's right. That's right. It's on you.
Does Ollie like smooth or chunky peanut butter? Oh, no, no, no. Shame on you for even suggesting that. Jeff, this is the portion of the show. No. Yes. Okay, there's two things that we have to get done before we conclude. One of them is let you plug anything that you're doing right now, your troupe, comedy classes, anything. And the other thing is the 3 simple questions. Which would you like to do first?
Let's do 3 simple questions first.
Okay, 3 simple questions. This is how we're concluding.
Tim Robinson. Got it. Figured it out. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
For the
Netflix show.
The Netflix show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, 3 simple questions, how we're concluding the interviews these days. It's basically an improv game that me and Jeff used to play on the News Junkie with audience members. And we would bring someone on stage, and then we would all take turns. The panelists, we'd all write what we thought their name was, where we thought they were from, and a secret that nobody knew about them. Now, how we've twisted it for this show is we have asked the last few guests if they had just met themselves today, what do you think your name is? If you just saw you for the first time and you were assuming that person's name is, what do you think your name is?
Chubbs McGillicuddy.
Chubbs McGillicuddy.
Uh-huh.
That's definitely an improv.
Yeah.
idea. Most people would just want to say Charles, but okay.
Yeah, no.
Chubbs McGillicuddy.
Yep.
Chubbs, where is Chubbs McGillicuddy from?
Atlanta, Georgia.
So,
Home of soul food.
and the final question, a secret that nobody knows about Chubbs McGillicuddy from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, jeez.
Looking at yourself in the mirror, what is a secret that you think nobody knows about this Chubbs McGillicuddy guy?
Chubbs is hardcore into parkour. Hardcore parkour. Like every day, you just like you're looking around, you're just like doing your normal everyday routine.
And here
You
comes
see
Chubbs.
like a lump just like jumping over the gap between doing a couple of flips, a little who's a daisy, a little what's you do. Those are more New Zealand sayings. Hey, who's a
I think
daisy?
we stole whatchamacallit from them,
Oh, did we really? That's a delicious candy bar.
according to you.
A nice crispy candy bar.
I believe you think you're right.
Yeah, no. I think I'm right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you all. They say Chubbs seems fun.
Yeah, no, Trump's a good guy. Yeah. A little down on himself, but a good guy nonetheless.
No, we're not asking that question at all. Let's see. No, we're not asking that one either. Okay. I don't want to burn my channel down. We're just now getting 4 people on. Are you kidding
That's right.
me?
Yeah.
What you got coming up? What's something?
Oh man.
Is there a improv class?
There's always at the rabbithole.com in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Rabbitholeimprov.com, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So
I'm always teaching the level 3 class, which is scene-based long-form improv. And I'm always teaching the sketch class.
Is that like the black belt of improv?
Yeah, baby. You got to be deep into it. You got to be real into the cult to get into
And
that.
you teach the sketch.
Yeah.
We didn't cover sketch hardly at all.
Oh no worries. It's sort of
We'll have to have you
similar
back.
concepts. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go over sketch at that point. Yeah,
You can teach us something.
yeah.
And
Not for free.
as,
Yeah, pay for this shit.
I've given away Rick Gutierrez writing. Rick, one night we were at the Looney Bin and Rick Gutierrez was performing that weekend at the bin.
Yeah.
And afterwards we'd done a local showcase there, and he comes out and he's like, "Do you guys know how to? Here's a little tip that I use for writing." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Now look, I'm going to talk to you guys because there's just 8 of us out here. But basically, what I do is I charge people, and it's a 3-hour course on how to do this." And-
All encapsulated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I pretty much have said it 4 or 5 times on this stream.
Yeah,
So
you're
sorry,
good.
Rick. Sorry,
Yeah.
I gave away your writing style.
Yeah.
Good luck with the next Gabriel Iglesias special. He is the writer for
Oh,
for
wow.
Fluffy.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's got a pretty good CV, to be honest.
There you go.
Is Crayons performing anytime? I mean, is there something?
Every Crayons performs every second Friday at a church. The Blue Dome Social Club performs every second Wednesday at a bar. And Comfort Creatures, another troupe I'm in, just randomly scattered around on the Rabbit Hole Improv website. So chances are, if there's improv in Tulsa, I have my dirty fingers in it. Dirty fingers.
Jeff Brown,
Yeah.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for being
Thank
here.
you, Dubsky. Dubsy.
We'll be right back.
Upski. Sky. Skisky. We're out.